and welcome to the show with me, Gillian Dawson. Today my guests are Sam Tasker-Grindley and Nancy Duncan from the UK, and their project is the Furlonteer.com project. Now, we've been talking before we started recording. Furlough is a term used in the UK when the government is paying people who can't work, they're not essential, but they're not allowed to work anywhere else. So how many people are on furlough in the UK?
So I think seven out of 10 businesses are using the furlough scheme, and
Wow.
by the end of this, it could be up to 9 million people who are furloughed. So it's a large proportion of people. And
it's quite a specific scheme. So the government's stepping in to help businesses that can't operate, but they're paying these people, but they can't work because they're getting a social payment. They can't work elsewhere. So this is where the Furlonteer project came about. Sam, perhaps you might start me off and tell me, what is the project?
Yeah, so it came about because I'm furloughed myself. So after 2 weeks of being furloughed and having all this free time to myself, I started to really miss a routine, a passion, a mission to get behind. So we came up with this idea basically by thinking there must be a lot of people in the same boat who are really missing those essential things to, a routine and just things to get involved with. And then on the other side, there are loads of charities and good causes who might have had to furlough their own staff and therefore don't have the resources to keep going, or just may need extra resources in certain areas that they've not focused on in the past. So really, Furlonteer is a really simple idea just to match the two. So to match the amazing variety of skills from furloughed workers, which can't be used in their current employers, and match them with charities and good causes that really need them.
Wow. And tell me, what is your background, Sam?
I'm a chartered accountant by background.
Ooh,
so just a little bit different.
Sure, because chartered accountants aren't normally known for their innovation. It's not a sector that you normally say, wow. And we're also joined by Nancy Duncan. Thank you so much. You're also an original founder. Your background is marketing, I understand?
Yeah, exactly. So I've been leading the marketing and branding side of the project, which is very, very exciting. All set up over Zoom with a remote team. We've never met each other. Wow. But we're all doing great things.
And I mean, how old is Furlonteer? You put Furlonteer. How old is it now?
2.5 weeks.
Wow. That's in COVID times. That's quite long, isn't it? And it's
it's about 2.5 weeks old. I mean, really, we wish we'd come up with the idea perhaps a month earlier, because the furlough scheme has been going on just that little bit longer. But yeah, we've been going 2.5 weeks. There was more than 1,000 sign-ups in the first 48 hours. After today's coverage on the BBC News channel, we're way beyond 3,000 now, up towards 4,000. So there's a lot of Furlonteers that have signed up already, and there's an awful lot of charities, yourself being one that we're helping out and we're matching with. So the response has been amazing in such a short amount of time as well.
And I think I did watch the BBC interview this morning, and you're a volunteer, Lucy, a lovely woman, and she was saying, and I think it's very, very powerful, she said, when I look back on this time, if I'm being furloughed, what did I do with my time? And I think that is a very powerful thing. People are saying, what did I do? And we can't all be nurses and doctors. Some of us have to be journalists and accountants and marketeers. So we're not essential in the sense that of what's happening to us in this public health crisis. So it's a very powerful thing. So tell me, how does it work? And so you have like 3,000 people signed up. Are they all volunteers, or are they charities, or how does that work?
So the 3,000 ish are all volunteers, or Furlonteers as we call them. So 99% of them have been furloughed by their current employers, and they've just basically put their hand up to say, I want to help, I want to give something back. And there's a massive mental health aspect for them as well. It's just to keep them busy, keep their mind occupied, and a lot of them are finding they're learning new skills because they're trying something a bit different. And they're extending their network, and they're just gaining all these new experiences. So so that's what the 3,000 is. And then on the other side of the charity, there's charities that we've got more than 500 that we're working with already.
And are you manually matching people? How does it work? Is it automated?
We wish. We did wish it was automated, but unfortunately it is manual. We did actually explore some various technology platforms that could help us with that, but as we're moving so quickly, we thought it was best to just do it manually.
And what type of, Nancy, what type of skill sets are people offering? What type of people are they?
Everything. So we've got marketers, a lot of social media and marketers, IT people, graphic designers, some of the charities do need accountants, so Sam. They need everything from website developers, a lot of marketing, social media, because obviously all the big fundraising events have been cancelled as well. So the marathon, for example, which lots of charities rely on. So looking at the strategy to build their charities up during these difficult times.
Wow. And is it all online, the services, or is there, say, for example, I was near to a local dog rescue home. Could I volunteer to go and clean out some kennels? Is that also part of it?
So we've said we're primarily looking at placing people in remote roles because we want to show what is possible from the comfort of your own home, and while still abiding by the guidelines that the government's given. Having said that, we have had lots of charities asking us if we do have people who are willing to go and support the local charities and the efforts that some of the amazing initiatives that are out there are offering. So primarily remote and from the comfort of your own home, but we do have the scope to be able to support those other charities, those other local on the ground charities as well.
Is there any sight on how long the furlough scheme will run?
Yeah, so our Chancellor Rishi Sunak did give a bit of an update last week. So he's saying it's going to start to taper. He's going to start to taper it away rather than just cut it immediately, which could leave businesses in more trouble than they perhaps started with. They're going to cut it, start tapering it from the 31st of July, which sort of gives us a bit more time to support people.
Brilliant.
Because, you know, otherwise this would be a very short thing. But call me a romantic. I actually think this is going to go on. So I think there'll be a bit of social change here. And I think volunteers and furlonteers will continue to want to keep those roles and want to keep helping.
I was going to suggest that because perhaps sometimes, you know, the way, I mean, I work in various charities and I don't know how I've ended up there. I'm not quite sure. I didn't set out to work or to volunteer. It just happened. I followed my children's interests. So these things happen. But sometimes the opportunities to volunteer are not presented in the everyday run of things. So people who might have a notion that they might like to help, they're not asked because they're not in the way of it. So, I mean, Nancy, do you think that these relationships that are going to be built up, will they last beyond even the end of the furlong, after the end of July, do you think?
Yeah, I would say that that's definitely our ambition and that would be our hope, because I think a lot of the skilled workers who haven't had exposure to charities before are realizing that in 4 hours they can make such a difference to these charities because their skills are for the corporate world, and so they can work really fast and they can really revolutionize how a charity is doing something with little impact but making a huge difference.
That's a very good point. I hadn't thought of that. Yes, because obviously volunteers, like again, I'm going back to the Irish Horse Welfare Trust that I'm involved with, but it attracts horsey people, not necessarily digitally savvy people, you know, and sometimes right now, like again, our big fundraiser in the autumn is the golf outing. Can't do that, or I don't know if it does, it's not going to be so successful. And we're running a program where we want to get people to donate, if they can, a $5 a month. And that needs to go online. So you need, and it's not just horsey people per se, it's people that like horses. You know, horses are lovely beings.
You've got to find a different way of engaging with your audience. And actually, if you can survive this, you're going to be better off for it, because when you get through it, you're going to have your digital online engagement, as well as when it comes back to normal, you're going to have your sort of real life face-to-face engagement as well. So I'd like to think, well, with the help of the volunteer, that you're going to be in an even better position after this.
And I think too as well, I mean, as I keep on saying, it's based on the scheme in the UK, is where it came from. But I'm here in Ireland and I've already got a volunteer assigned, which please goodness will go great, to the horse charity here. But you have volunteers from all around the world, and charities presumably from all around the world as well.
Yeah, that's right. So we've got a number of global charities who've reached out. So there's United Nations Women, there's Children in Rwanda, there's, just to name a couple of examples. So there's no reason why it has to be in the UK. That's the beauty of the technology that we've got at our fingertips, is that we can do this all over Zoom. A website is there for everyone to see, and it's the same website no matter where you are in the world. So and one of Team Furlonteer is based out in Shanghai, and it almost makes us a 24-hour operation. So we'll wake up and we've got all this new branding stuff that he's created overnight, and it's brilliant.
That's very exciting. You know, I keep on saying, I'm involved with a number of different projects here too as well, that this is a chance for us to rethink, to stop a bit. There's been, you know, the air pollution, you know, obviously through the traffic, there's There's, animals are taking over various parts of the world. Some of them are mocked up pictures. I think I saw some lions going through Dublin recently. I don't think the lions are really in Dublin, but it gives us a chance to stop and think what's important. And I really admire both of you for this project, because not only are you doing good, like you're doing the matching, the charity matching, like the Tinder sites, whatever. Am I right in saying, perhaps, Nancy, that do you feel a benefit personally from this for you?
Yeah, exactly. I haven't been working since early March because I'm a freelance employee. So one of the first to go, and it's great, but the novelty of not working does wear off. And actually, when you realize that you can do something that makes a difference to a much wider group of people, and I think that everyone's rethought what their behavior was before we're all wrapped up in our daily commutes, going into work thinking our work was the most important thing, and then something like this happens and you realize there is more to life. Making a difference, family, friends, those things are actually just as important, and having a purpose is one of the most important things.
I think you're right. Actually, you've got it on the nail. Having a purpose is the most important thing for a human being and for our mental health, both. Anyway, thank you so much for your time today. The Furlonteer, FURLONTEER.com. People can still volunteer. In the UK, the scheme's going on to the end of July. That's quite a good lead time, actually, before it goes away. So that's super. I'm sure you'll get volunteers from around the world as well, and charities, because what a great thing it is to do to help other people. And it's a fantastic idea. And I wish you every success going forward.
Thank you very much, Gillian.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
No, you're brilliant. Sam Tasker-Grindley and Nancy Duncan from Furlonteer.com. Get involved.